Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here. And today, I want to talk to you about not justifying why you want something. So, I think sometimes when we're doing manifesting, and we want to manifest something, so, manifesting is the process of selecting the reality that you want, whether that is an object, an amount of money, a relationship, a circumstance that you want to experience. And when we're doing that, often we can not focus on what we want, not use our focus, because we are not persistent, not consistent in deciding what it is that we want. And so really that's the first step, right? The first step is getting clarity on exactly what you want. And sometimes when we don't have that clarity, we can delay our manifestations. Now that doesn't mean that if you don't know that there's a workaround that you can do that. But when you keep hopping from like, oh, well, I would love to have $10,000. Well, maybe $50,000 is better. Or maybe $1 million is better. And you keep hopping around. And I know because I've done this, you're not really focusing on one thing. And it feels like wavering. It feels like it's not consistent. And so you're not being consistent in your focus. And here's the thing. So let's just set ourselves at ease. Is that like your manifesting power, it's not going to go away. So if you decide $10,000, once you manifest that $10,000, you can just start manifesting the 50 or the million. But if you already know, no, $1 million is what I want. I don't want to stop off at 10,000. Then don't, right? It's up to you. You are the operant power. You are the decider. And you don't have to. I think part of the reason that we do this, like kind of inconsistent, like wishy-washy kind of thing, this kind of wishy-washy energy. And I feel like this wishy-washy energy doesn't manifest. It doesn't manifest for me. I can say that. And I think a lot of times people do that because they feel like they have to justify to the universe or to themselves because they have some belief of like they're not worthy of getting that thing. Or they don't believe that the universe will really provide it to them, and so they're protecting themselves on the front end by being wishy-washy, by not really picking a specific thing to avoid some sort of future disappointment. And I want to say, go all in on this. Neville Goddard calls this like buying the pearl, right? Buying the pearl, going all in on manifesting, going all in on the law of assumption. And you just do it. Believe that your imagination creates. Now, if you don't believe that, you can still get there. So like if you're very new in your manifesting journey and you don't have a lot of manifestations under your belt, you can still get there. So don't worry about that if you're listening to this and you're brand new. But if you are a manifestor like I am and have manifested a lot of things and you still have this issue, I think this is a shift that I'm working on now. And I just was inspired to tell you about it. And so you don't have to justify the why you want something. So let's say you want a bigger house. You want a bigger house. And you have all of these reasons like, oh, well, this house is really too small. And, we have, this many children and this house is just too small for the amount of children we have. And like, it's in this neighborhood and I really prefer to be in this neighborhood. You don't have to justify why you want a bigger house or a different house or whatever other adjectives you want to put on the house. You don't have to justify it. You don't have to justify it to yourself. You don't have to justify it to your higher self, the operant power. You just have to decide exactly what you want. And you decide, and then you stick to that decision. Unless you genuinely in your heart want something different, right? You genuinely are like, no, actually, I don't want that. I want this other house. And at that point, you can pivot to the new thing. But you don't have to, like, keep this running sort of thing. And oftentimes it's just in your head. Or it's when you're telling your friends about it. You don't have to say all those words. In fact, I believe that you shouldn't. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do, but I think that that like justification of it is really it's just delaying your manifestation. That's what I think. That's what I believe. And it's because your focus doesn't have clarity. That those justifications are muddying the waters of the clarity of your focus. Whereas when you just say, like, yeah, this is the house I want. I want that house. That's it. That's what I want. And then in the manifesting process, like, you've done that part and you focused on it and you continue to focus on it a little bit each day. You don't have to do it all day. And then you just do other stuff in your life. So just to kind of recap what we talked about in this, decide what you really, really want. Decide it. And then you don't have to justify it. You don't have to justify it to yourself. You don't have to justify it to your friends. You don't have to justify it from anybody. You just decide and you order it, and then you persist in the clarity of your focus on exactly what you want. I intend that is helpful for you, and may you manifest exactly what you want.